Yes, yes. The question that I asked for this part, today I said that we are going to explain the last type of friendly letters, descriptive narrative. As we can see from the title, what do I mean by descriptive narrative? Do you have any idea? Is
Mr.
that
Can I
study
say?
in grade 7? Yes, Muhammad Islam. Yes.
Mr. We can say from the title descriptive narrative that we write this letter to describe or points in celebration or day that we had, like the sports day that we had it last year as writing.
Yes.
And also, Mr., we can write about our school celebration, our holiday, anything.
Yes, you are correct, Muhammad Islam. Thanks so much. For this type, as a descriptive narrative, it's a mix between descriptive letter and narrative letter. It means that you have a story that happened to you. This story is related to an occasion or event. So you are required to describe anything in this story or in this part of narrative letter. So you make mix between description and narration. Okay, so it's called descriptive narrative. How can we write this type of letter? Let's know together. This Muhammad Islam start by reading the first point, descriptive narrative.
Yes. Descriptive narrative. Letter need to be written in friendly register. These are letters written to a friend, relative, or pen friend about an occasion or event. As the name suggests, descriptive narratives are a combination of descriptive and narrative writing. The occasions you may be asked to write about can include celebration, a school show, a sports day, a festival or carnival, a holiday. As
So
with
these
other,
are, wait please, these are the most common occasions that you are required to write about. So how can I differentiate between descriptive narrative and descriptive letter or narrative letter? For descriptive narrative letter, you are required in the question. He will ask you to write about a celebration, a school show, sports day, festival or carnival, or a holiday. But for narrative letter, you are required to write about something that happened to you, okay, or an experience that best or that happened to you in the past. Okay. For descriptive letter, you are required to describe. If it will ask you, sorry, it will ask you about someone who came and stay at your home, or who will come to stay at your home. So you are required to describe anything that you have in your home. I mean by home here the country, not the house. Okay. I mean the country and the places that he will visit. But for descriptive narrative letter, as we said, you are required to write about an occasion or event. Okay, and you are required to state or describe what happened at this place. Complete or go on, Muhammad Islam. Yes.
okay. As with other friendly letters, the main points to keep in mind are create interest, personalize for the reader, support each idea, and don't list.
Yes, for basic outline on this type of letters. These four criteria for any friendly letters, we are required to create interest, to personalize for the reader, to support each idea, and we said how by stating the reason, and then don't give the reader more details about the thing that you are going to describe or that you are going to narrate. For the basic outline, how can we write the introduction of descriptive narrative letter? Yes, Muhammad, please go on reading.
Okay, Mr. Introduction. The reason
Please,
for writing.
Muhammad, in your reading, please try to be relaxed, okay, to give the chance for the other, okay, to be able to understand quickly, because you read quickly, please. So please be relaxed in your reading, okay?
Okay, Mr.
Yes, Muhammad.
Introduction. The
Yes.
reason for writing a descriptive narrative is to pass on information about a particular occasion. Although the occasion may be of interest to the
Wait,
reader.
Muhammad, please, the other please turn on your cam, please. Turn on your cam. Thanks so much, Mary. Yes, okay, Muhammad, go on.
Okay, Mr.
Yes,
it is certainly not as exciting as the hot news in a narrative letter. as there is no sense of urgency. A descriptive narrative can have a standard introduction. Be particularly careful to look for hidden
Be
im-
particularly careful to look for hidden implications in descriptive narrative questions. How? Can you read this part? If you are
Okay, so
asked, huh?
if you are asked to write a letter to your friend about sports day at your school, for example, the reader, the examiner, may expect to know why your friend was not at the sports day herself, and you should give a reason for this. On the other hand, if you are asked to write a letter to your pen friend about sports day at your school, the reader would not expect your pen friend to be at the event, as pen friends live abroad.
Live
Look at the
abroad
following example.
means live outside his country. Yes, look at the following examples. To a friend who missed
Who
sports
missed
day,
sports day, you could write, Dear Adam, it's a shame you missed sports day last week, but I hope you are feeling better. In other
this
words,
for
he
someone,
missed.
this for someone or for your friend who missed the sports day. In other words, he missed sports day because he was ill. How can we write? Yes, Muhammad.
To a relative who missed a family party, you could write, What a pity you couldn't come to the party, but I'm glad you enjoyed your school trip too. In other words, your relative was on a school trip at the time of the party.
Yes, the same applies. Huh?
The same applies when writing to a friend who missed a school trip. Why did he miss it? School trips are usually fun. Think of a suitable reason for your friend to miss this trip. Having cold, you, for example, would not stop him from going, whereas a broken leg may be a more appropriate excuse. That transition sentence can be short and straight to the point.
Yes,
I thought you might like to know what you missed. I thought I'd let you
I'd
know
let you
how it
know.
went. I
Yes,
thought
I
you might
certainly.
like to know something about. I thought you might be interested to know something about.
Thanks so much, Muhammad Islam. For
Welcome,
what?
Mr.
For this part that your classmate read, state how can write the introduction in general for any type of letter. The introduction must be short. Okay. So for this type of your introduction, how can you start? You can start by this expression. It's a shame you missed. Okay. So at first, dear, that's then the name of your friend. Then start by this expression. It's a shame you missed. Sorry. It's a shame you missed. Okay. Or you can say, sorry, what a pity you couldn't come to the party, or what a pity you couldn't attend the sports day. Okay, so you can start with one of this. There is no apology like the narrative letter, like the descriptive letter. Do you remember?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, okay. So when you start the introduction, you can start by saying it's a shame. I mean, here by the descriptive narrative. Descriptive narrative. It's a shame you missed. Then it states the occasion, then the time fixer or the time that related to the occasion. For example, last week. Then contrast by using the word but I hope you are feeling better. As he said, he missed his birthday because he was ill. So on our introduction would be in this way. I start by it's a shame you missed, then I state the occasion. Sorry, close it when. Then I state the occasion, okay? Then the time of the occasion, and after that you can say I use the contrast by saying, but I hope you are feeling better. Also, the second type for the one who missed a party, I can say, what a pity you missed, or it's a shame you missed. Both of them would be correct if you use them. To come to the party, I state here's the occasion, okay? Then I use the contrast, the word but. I'm glad to enjoy your school trip. Maybe he has another occasion or another thing that
Mister,
prevent him from attending the party. Yes, Simon.
can we say it's a shame you missed like a school trip or a field trip?
Yes, it can be. Yes. Okay. As I said, for if we go back for the first part of the page, he said what here? A celebration, school show, sports day, festival, or carnival holiday. Field trip can be like sports day. Okay. So it can be put under this occasion.
Mr. What should be in sports day?
And maybe that you play together and you divide each other into teams. You can see more
Okay.
details about, and you can describe here the people, and you select the most effective one in this team, for example, for
Who's the
the
best one who scored a lot?
yes. Then the atmosphere. What did you do?
It was a
How's the weather
cloudy.
like? Okay, how do you deal together? This what I mean by the atmosphere. We are going to talk about this point in details. Okay,
Okay.
just wait. Simon, can you complete reading?
Okay. Body of the letter.
Yes.
The starting point of the body
The
of this.
starting
The
point.
starting point of the body of this kind of letter is to consider the
Essential.
essential features which go together to make the oceans,
The occasion,
the occasions, and without which, wait, Mr. Just a second.
which this would be.
Yes, Mr. Someone was calling me. Ocean, and without which there would be no ocean.
Occasion.
Occasion.
Occasion. Okay.
These will usually include the following: people, the
So
most important.
these are the things that you are required to describe in your descriptive narrative letter. At first, people. So you select what?
The most important requirement of an event in people
Is
it
people.
is
People.
people.
Okay.
Is
Thanks,
people.
Simon. Muhammad Mustafa, please. Thanks so much, Simon.
Yes, Mr.
Complete reading, please.
People, the most important requirement for an event is people. It is simply impossible
Please,
to
Muhammad, make the mic close to your mouth, okay, to be able to hear you well. Okay.
what? Yes.
The mic,
Okay.
Make
Yes.
it close. Okay, to you. Yes. People.
People, the most important requirement for an event is people. It is simply impossible to have a party or hold a festival without people.
Yes, as we know, for any festival, we can't attend any festival without people. It will not be a festival without people. Yes. So atmosphere.
Atmosphere people usually find an event more attractive if there is food, drink, music, and so on. And this is often what creates the atmosphere.
Yes, listen
Weather,
to me again. Listen. For be said for atmosphere, people usually find an event more attractive when if there is food, drink, music, and so on. And this is often what creates the atmosphere. So the what creates the atmosphere, you can describe the food, the drink, the music, how do you act there, okay, as he said, and so on. Weather,
weather. This
yes,
can also be an important factor, especially for an outdoor event, and it can add to the atmosphere.
yes, sorry,
Complete or
yes, complete, yes.
individual accidents. There
Incident,
were
individual
incidents.
incidents, yes.
Incidents. There will be a number of small unrelated incidents which seem unimportant, but which probably add to the atmosphere and so help you to remember the
Occasion,
occasion better.
occasion later,
The
yes.
inclusion of these small incidents help to make their letter different
This
from a
letter,
narrative letter.
to make this letter different from a narrative
From a
letter.
narrative
At
letter.
the same time, yes,
Sorry. At the same time, you need to remember to apply the features of friendly letter writing. In other words, you should create interest, personalize, support, avoid listening,
avoid listing.
listing.
It means that you aren't required to give more details. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Muhammad Mustafa.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Sir, I didn't
Omar,
understand individual. I didn't understand it very well.
For the introduction,
Yeah, no,
the body,
no, no,
individual,
yeah.
individual incident. Yes, for individual incident, for example, if you were at the party, okay, and someone spilled the coffee on your clothes, you will state what
Okay.
happened in this situation, okay?
Okay, like
So you
okay,
select the most
understand.
effective event that happened to you.
The most important event.
Yes, the most important event, okay? The one that is relevant to you, okay?
Okay, Mr. Thank you.
You are welcome. Omar Ahmed,
Yes, Mr.
yes, for conclusion of a descriptive narrative letter.
Conclusion of descriptive narrative letter. The conclusion for the descriptive narrative letter should be quite short,
Yes, as
probably
we said,
only 2 or 3
yes,
lines.
with Omar, as we said before, for the introduction and conclusion, they must be brief. So you must write short conclusion. How can you write complete Omar, please?
Probably only 2 or 3 lines long, and if possible, should return to the point which began the letter. Now you know what you missed, or hope you will be feeling better for Joe's party this weekend.
So this one of them you can write if you want to end your descriptive narrative letter. Yes, Omar. Here we are going to talk in details about how can we describe the people in the descriptive narrative letter. Yes, Omar, start reading this part.
People, in order to avoid listing, select only 1 or 2 of the guests. Write
Yeah.
about them in such a way as to create interest by giving details about their clothes, their behavior, their personality, or character.
So it will be difficult for you to talk about all the people who attend the party. So you are required to select 1 or 2, not more, okay, and to talk about them. And to talk about giving, as I said, giving details about their clothes, how they wear in the party, their behavior, how they act, their personality or character, if they are kind, if they are not make, or if they are rude, if they are polite people, impolite, as you can see in your topic. Then what else, Omar?
Remember to support every statement.
So when you state your opinion about these people, you are required to support your idea. How? By stating the reason. If you say that this person was a polite person, so we need to say why. Okay? As we said before, if you want to support your idea, you are required to state or to say why, to state the reason. Yes, Omar. Huh.
Very often in this type of letter, the person you describe is known both to you and the person you are writing to. In
Yes,
other words, you have common knowledge of the person's characteristics, habits, and so on. This provides an excellent opportunity for personalizing.
personalizing.
Look at
Example. Yes.
I was coached by Uncle Ken, who started giving me the usual advice about what I should study at university, and then spent half an hour telling me the same old stories we have heard so many times about his student days.
Yes. Complete Omar.
Note the personalized phrases. Okay, this. Compare the example above with the following sentence written by a student. Uncle Jim was there, and so were Grandma and Granddad, Auntie Susan, Nina, and the twins.
And that means so here there is listing here, yes, because it state his
Yes.
uncle, his grandma, granddad, auntie. He didn't focus on one of them, but in the first one, the correct way because he focused on his uncle. He was the one who affected on him. He said that he started giving me the usual advice, and he said he told me the same old stories we had heard so many times. So he said that he felt boring because of his uncle telling the same thing at the same time and repeated it for many times. Yes, so you are required to avoid listing. This is the mistake of the students who wrote Uncle Jim was there, and so were Grandma and Granddad, Auntie Suzanne,
Mister, I
Nina,
have a
and the
question.
twins. Yes,
Like
Simone.
the reader is reading my paragraph. He want to know who's in the party, so why should I not list?
Because in your writing, according to the rules of or the basic plan of writing this descriptive narrative letter, you are required to state one or two person or two people who had a great effect on you in the party. No need to
Like
state
someone
all
if
the
said to me,
yes,
I will
because
not write him if someone said hi and I said hi to him.
yes, because if you wrote about these names or these members of your family, you are required to state all the details, and it will not be acceptable because you are required between 150 words to 200. Yes, and this
Okay.
is called this again is the rule. It will list for more details, and he said you must avoid listing. Yes.
Okay, Mr.
Yes, Simon. Thanks so much, Emilia. Yes, Summer commits the last part of this of descriptive
The,
description people.
the
Has the
student
students.
sentence the student
Yes,
sentence is a boring list with no interesting details, no support, and no personalizing. To the examiner, this suggests
suggest
that the student cannot construct a good sentence
construct a
and
good sentence. Yes,
knows only basic vocabulary. It is
yes,
always much more difficult than it seems to invent characters in an exam. And so it is a very good idea to practice when you are not under pressure. Here are some ideas to start you thinking.
yes. Listen to me. As for this part, for this comment about the students, if you wrote in this way, that's put wrong beside it. Uncle Jim was there and so on. It will let the reader feel that the student is very weak in his language and he can't appreciate or evaluate his letter, and it will be difficult to give him a good mark in his writing. So put this in your mind. Don't list. Okay. Select only one person or two people in the party who has a great effect on you throughout the party or throughout the occasion in general. Thanks so much, Omar Ahmed. One side,
Yes,
wise
Mr. Yes.
clothing. How can you describe the clothing at the party or occasion? Yes.
Clothing. Someone who wears clothes that are too tight so the person bulges out of them.
Of them.
Clothes that are loose and shapeless,
I mute myself.
perhaps.
Sorry, my dear. I mute myself because I have noise. Okay, you can read.
No
I'm
problem,
using
mister.
it.
Okay, mister. Clothes that are too tight so the person bulge out of them. Clothes that are loose and shapeless, perhaps creased, not ironed. Trousers that are too short, sleeves that are too long, very
Trousers that are too short. Yes.
trousers that are too short, sleeves that are too long, very brightly colored clothes, bright yellow, shocking pink, brilliant orange, someone who wants to be noticed,
Brilliant orange. Someone who wants to be noticed. Huh? The
colors
colors.
that don't go together. An orange shirt with a red tie, brown shoes with blue trousers,
Trousers.
one
One
green,
green.
one green and one brown sock. Someone who has no sense of color coordination
Yes.
when it comes to clothes.
What do this feature of clothing?
What do these features of clothing tell us about the character of the person who wears them?
Yes. Habits. What about habits? Yes. Someone who
Someone who has a booming, very loud voice which
booming. It
can be
means
heard anywhere.
is booming a very loud voice. Yes, which it can be. Huh?
Heard anywhere in the room. Friends and relatives try to avoid having personal or private conversations with such a person for this reason. Thinks he is amusing and is always telling jokes, although no one else finds them funny. Falls
Yes.
asleep in a chair on all family occasions. Does he snore? Is known to be clumsy, perhaps need glasses, but is too vain to wear them. Your mother bought her glass and china ornaments in a cupboard when his
And
persons come
china
together.
ornaments in a cupboard when this person comes to visit. Yes,
Is a poor who is always giving you good advice based on her own experience.
yes,
This gives
like
her a
the
chance.
part that the student that we read before about his uncle who gave him the same advice. Yes,
This gives her a chance to talk about herself for hours, usually repeating stories which you have heard many times before.
yes,
Likes to give the impression he is still a teenager, even if he is 55.
yes.
Has a particular hobby: fishing, car engines, butterflies, cake making, and can talk about nothing else. Is always talking about people who have recently died.
Yes. Die.
Is
Is
permanently on a diet, but who helps
permanently on a diet.
permanently on a diet, but who helps herself to multiple slices of the chocolate cake.
Yes. Here we have exercises. Before we write, what about the atmosphere? Yes, yes, Lance.
Atmosphere. The best way to write about atmosphere is to consider the senses. What you hear, usually music. What you taste, usually food. What you smell, cooking or flowers. What you see, entertainment
So the
or dance.
atmosphere is related to the common sense. If what you hear, what you taste, what you smell, what you see. Okay, it means that you are required to talk about here the music that you hear, if it jazz or rock. Okay, the taste about the food here, the smell about the flowers and cooking, and what you see about the things that you entertain. If you have there, if there is a dancer in this party or no. Okay, go on. There is no point.
There
Maybe
is no
yes.
there is
Okay.
no point in mentioning these factors unless you can support what you write in some way. Look at some possible ways you could write support about the music at a family celebration. It was really
Yes.
out of the arc, old-fashioned,
It means
so
out of the arc. It means old fashioned. Yes. Huh. So what?
old-fashioned. So what did the young people do? It was defining. Someone had brought a crock
Was
machine.
it was defining? Okay.
Yes,
Huh.
someone has brought a crock machine, and but luckily or sadly, no one knew how to use it. Some of the wrinkles,
No, no, wrinkles. Take care. W followed by R. W will be silent. So some of the wrinkles or
some
old
of the
people.
wrinkles equal old people began singing old songs together. It was the best part of the evening. We danced till we dropped.
Okay, that's enough for you, Miles. Thanks so much, Miles. We can ask Said.
Yes,
Said
Mr.
Walid. Yes, Said.
Yes, Mr. Here.
Yes, when Alex,
Yes.
for example, here.
When Alex arrived, he had brought his CDs along and volunteered to be
The
the DJ.
DJ.
Then the
Yes,
party really livened up.
yes.
Uncle Mike's section of music is, as you know, out
Uncle Mike's
of the art.
selection of music
Selection of music is, as you know, out of the art. So we
out of the
all
art.
went into the other room.
Again, out of the art means what? Old fashioned. Yes, huh? As we all complete.
So we all went into the other room
Sorry,
and
yes.
played our own CDs. Try to think of some examples of your own. Look at some possible ways you could write support about the food at a family celebration.
Yes,
It was much too spicy for my liking. It was
yes,
cold as I was starving, equal very hungry. It
yes.
was my favorite
Starving,
or
it
your
means,
friend's
yes,
favorite.
listen to me. Starving means very hungry. Okay, yes. It was my favorite. Yes,
It was my favorite or your friend's favorite if you want to make her jealous. Say what it was: pizza, chips, chocolate cake, something or something homemade.
yes.
There was not enough food for everyone, so what happened? Nobody ate anything. Why not? Auntie Lena had made an enormous version of her delicious chocolate cake, and with every slice I ate, I thought how much you would have enjoyed it.
Yes.
There was loads of mouth-watering food. Grandma had obviously spent the whole day in the
In
kitchen.
the kitchen.
Auntie,
Suzanne.
Auntie Suzanne was happily tucking into the chocolate cake slice by slice, forgetting about the diet she's supposed to be on.
Yes. Okay.
And
For individual incidents, how can you write about? Yes.
select one or two incidents to write about. For example, someone spilled
Coffee.
spilled coffee on the white carpet.
Yes.
Someone tripped over while dancing. A
Yes.
fuse blew and caused a temporary power cut. A precious vase was knocked out of the shelf.
A precious vase was knocked off the shelf. Okay.
A child pulled the tablecloth and over everything that was on it off the table.
Yes, so this one of the examples that you can select about the individual incident. As we said before, someone spilled coffee on the white carpet. So you are required to state what happened after that. What about the owner of this plant or of this place? What did he do? Okay. Yes, complete. These are,
Yes, these are incidents which do not change the course of the evening. They do not become more important than the party itself. They may involve one or two time sequence phrases underlined below. I was just about to serve myself a second helping of gâteau when I accidentally knocked over a cup of coffee. It only took a moment for me to see that it had splashed all down the back of Julia's white dress.
yes, not that.
Note that it is not important to attach these minor events to a specific time if you were involved in an accident. Take
In
the
an
opportunity to
incident.
personalize.
If you were involved
Incident.
in an incident, take the opportunity to personalize. Yes, how?
You know how clumsy I am when I get nervous? Well, I was just getting myself a spoon when clumsy as ever I thought I'd managed I thought I would I thought I'd managed
Okay,
to get through the evening
yes,
without causing a scene, but
yes, as we said, you are for the word, but it's required to use it for contrast. For contrast. Yes, Said, complete.
producing informal writing. You know how careful I am. I couldn't believe it when I looked down and
Well,
saw.
Said, yes, here, personalizing
Oh
in
yes, sorry,
descriptive.
mister.
Okay.
Personalizing in descriptive and narrative letters. Personalizing in descriptive narrative letters poses the same problem as for narrative letters. In our example, as your friend was not with you at the event, how can you make him feel included? Again, you will need to use phrases such as, if you'd been there, you would have burst out laughing. I wish, if only, you should have seen,
Yes.
or you'd seen the look
Yes,
on
I
Grandma's
wish you
face
would
when,
seen the look on Grandma's face when, and then you will state what
it's a
happened.
shame or
Yes.
it's a pity you couldn't make the party, you'd have enjoyed it.
Or you can
It's
say,
a good thing or it's a good job. You missed or couldn't take
couldn't
you couldn't
make.
make the party. Yes, you'd have been bored to tears.
Okay.
You can
For
you can
possible
also
problems, skip this line. Possible problems.
okay. Possible problems. The following paragraph written by a student in response to the question on page 63 highlight many of the problems associated with writing descriptive narrative letters. Well, I arrived at the party, which was in my aunt's house at 7 o'clock at 7:05.
Side, wait, please.
Okay.
Yes, for the students who raise their hands. Okay, Khalid. Yes, Khalid. Okay. Yes, Khalid. Okay. Uh,
Can I read after Khalid?
Omar Bara and Khalid Mustafa. Yes, Khalid, you asked for the drinking. Okay, you can go. Omar Bara. Okay, thanks so much, Said. That's enough for you. Yes,
Okay,
Omar
thank you.
Bara, completely.
Can I read your advice?
Okay, that's after Omar if we
Can I
have
read
time. Okay.
after?
Yes.
Well, I
Possible
arrived
problems. Yes. Well, I arrived at the party.
I arrived at the party, which was in my aunt's house at 7 o'clock. At 7:05, Uncle Jim arrived at 10 past. Mr. First, he is.
Okay, my dear,
listening.
Omar, thanks so much. We have little time, so let's write the introduction of this type of exercise 4. Exercise 4, I can move down to show you the question. He said here, use all above, all the information given above. Write a letter to a relative who missed the family celebration, telling her or him all about it. What I want from you to write an introduction only, okay? Do you like to help you?
Mr. Send it on the group or
Okay.
what?
Mister,
About
if you can give us
a
idea.
family celebration, okay? It's like it's a shame of you if you it's a shame that you missed, or what a pity that you missed, and you state the contrast,
the
the
group.
place, the time, and using the word but. I can show you, okay, to help you how can you write. It will be about celebration, family celebration, okay?
Mr. يعني write only the introduction or write
Only,
whole?
no, only the introduction, okay? Next week we are going to write the whole letter.
Okay, Mr. means to write it's a shame to what happened to you.
Yes, but
And then
before write the word dear and the name of your friend, okay?
Okay.
Then under the comma, start your letter. You can say it's a shame you missed a celebration family, or you can say you can state any celebration, maybe your brother's birthday, okay, or birthday party, okay?
Okay.
Or my birthday party if you want to talk about yourself, no problem, okay?
Okay.
Start this now. I'm waiting for sending.
Now,
Production,
Mr. David
yes.
finished.
You have 5 minutes before the session, yes? The next one.
Okay.
Okay, right. If you can't, you can send after.
Mister, we will only write the introduction.
Yes, my dear, introduction only.
Long
Okay, I will go bring my notebook.
quickly, please. Okay. Send the introduction to the group of homework.
Mr. Introduction about number 1.
You missed the question. You missed a family celebration. Maybe this celebration, a birthday party, okay? Your brother's birthday party, for example. Your graduation party at home, okay? Okay, the one who asked, okay? I'm going to start to write this and send on the group of homework.
Mr. Kai, read.
We finished reading, that's enough. I asked you to write.
No, Mr. I mean, read my introduction.
You finish your introduction?
Yes.
Okay, Omar, quickly, please, Omar. Mrs. Ines joins, so I give her the host. Please, my dear, send me your introduction or the group of homework, okay? Mrs. Ines, I give you the host now.
Mr. Can we send it after the period?
Yes, take your time, okay?
Okay, Mr.
Mrs. Ines, you are the host now. Thanks so much, my dear students. Okay.